The lubricating oil flow begins as oil is drawn from the oil pan through the suction tube. The suction tube delivers oil to the gerotor lubrication pump. The oil pump, installed in the front gear housing, utilizes hollow gears in the pumping chamber of the oil pump for improved pumping efficiency at high engine speeds. The pump then delivers the lubricating oil through an internal drilling to the oil cooler cover and the pressure regulator. When the oil pressure from the pump exceeds the pressure regulator opening pressure, the valve opens, uncovering the dump port and allowing some oil to drain back to the pan. At the same time, oil is directed to a cast-in passage in the oil cooler cover leading to the oil cooler element. The element cools the oil as it is moved through the plates and coolant is passed on the outside of the plates. The oil then continues through another cast passage in the oil cooler cover to the oil filter. The Fleetguard Stratapore oil filter utilized on the ISB Gas Plus engine reduces the restriction of oil flow. In the event of a plugged filter, the cooler cover incorporates a bypass valve that maintains oil flow. If the pressure drop across the oil filter exceeds 20 psi, the bypass valve opens, allowing unfiltered oil to lubricate the engine. At the filter head, oil flow is divided, with a portion of the oil flowing to the turbocharger and the rest passing through the cooler cover down a cast passage to a cross drilling in the block. A cross drilling between cylinder number 1 and cylinder number 2 carries the oil across the block to an angle drilling that intersects the main oil rifle. The main oil rifle runs the length of the block and carries oil to the overhead and main bearings through individual transfer drillings. The transfer drilling connected to the main oil rifle supplies oil to a groove in the upper main bearing shells. Oil is then supplied to the cam bores through short radial drillings. Oil also flows through a groove in the upper main bearing to the piston cooling nozzles. The piston pins are splash lubricated by the piston cooling nozzle spray. From the main bearings, oil enters the crankshaft and lubricates the connecting rod bearings through internal cross drillings. Oil to the overhead is carried to the cylinder head deck by individual vertical drillings, one per cylinder, intersecting the main oil rifle.